Okay, it's 6 o'clock. Let's get started. So first of all, welcome to the monthly Board of Trustees meeting. If I'm not talking loud enough, give me a thumbs up and I'll try to get louder. Welcome to our monthly Board of Trustees meeting for the Gazette Public Library. A little different than normal because we don't normally have this many folks here. Why don't we introduce ourselves? We'll start with Mike.
I'm Michael Hagemeyer. I've been on the board for just over a year.
Donna Beal.
Betty Brown.
I'm Mike Taylor.
Zach Chambers.
Linda Messmer.
Jill Scarborough, Director.
Teresa McCullough.
And Darlene Shepard. I've been business manager here for a while.
So the first part of our meeting, this is a little bit different meeting because it's January. It's our first meeting of the year. So we've got a little bit of process to go through first. So bear with us. We'll get through the process and then we'll get to the meeting. So if we could call to order nominations for president. Actually, for the Board of Finance.
Yes. And before we do the nominations, I would like to explain the responsibilities of the Board of Finance. There's a lot of people here this evening. The general duties of the Board of Finance for the library include 1, hosting balance and ledgers. 2, prepare the monthly financial statement. 3, receive claims, review statutory authority for payment, and report approval of audits by the board. 4, issue warrants for claims properly payable, verify that funds and appropriations are available before issuing warrants. 5, make remittances of federal and state withholding taxes, social security taxes, and other payroll deductions to appropriate agencies. And I'll share that our bookkeeper, Darlene, our business manager, handles just about all of those tasks.
All right. Okay, let's call to order the regular monthly board meeting. The first part of that is we open the meeting for staff or public comment.
Oh, no,
Is that- Oh,
Yes.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I need to. This is my first meeting as president, and I'm a little nervous. How about nominations for president? Which is the treasurer, which is Dr. Zach Chambers, and the secretary, which is Donna. The treasurer's investment and funds report.
Okay, and much like Mike, this is my first time giving this report as well, so I may need to lean on Darlene for a little bit of assistance here. With respect to the library investments and funds, the library has $0 in investments. We have an overall operating fund balance of $230,729.39 distributed across the following funds. Our operating fund has $40,977.09. The gift fund holds $36,090.03. The rainy day fund, $76,989.19. The petty cash is $100. Change fund, $100. The library improvement reserve fund, also referred to as the LIRF, $49,500. The Indiana State Technology Grant Fund is sitting at a negative $189.44. The Evergreen Pass-Through Fund is $7.75. The Debt Service Fund, $25,986.60. And finally, payroll insurance at $1,168.17.
And I might interject here that
Yes.
the Indiana State Technology Grant Fund has a negative $189.44 balance. Is because I have not learned to do the transfers on our new computer program yet.
Gotcha.
In order to transfer money and to make that not be a negative balance, and the gap comes tomorrow
Okay.
for more training.
That is the reading of the report. Are there any questions? All right, hearing none, can there be a motion that the report stand as read?
I move the report stand.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, those same signs. The report stands as read. Feel free to adjourn the meeting.
So the meeting for the Board of Finance is adjourned. Okay, now let's start the regular monthly board meeting. We start this meeting off with staff for public comments. And so before we do that, I'd like to make a statement. I think all of us know why most of you are here. It's a very terrible situation that happened last Tuesday. A lady was going to a meeting at the Presbyterian Church next door, and she parked in the reserved public library parking lot. When she came out, she couldn't get her car out of the lot. And that's terrible. And so today, I'm sorry. Today we're going to fix that. That's later in the meeting. But on behalf of myself and the library, we are sincerely sorry. I take full responsibility for what happened. My first meeting as a president. The lady and her husband are friends of my wife now. We don't ever want this to happen again. I'd like to ask that when you have public comments, that our secretary record these comments so we can address them. I think we need to do a little bit better, working more closely with the public, and improve the relationship. And we're going to do that. This town deserves that. This library deserves that. So with that being said, are there any staff or public comments?
Well, I had heard that the gate was not locked. Is that true?
The gate was, from the information that we gathered, the gate was not locked. The gate was shut, the lock was put in, but not locked.
Okay.
And so the failure is, we took policy, this is the first time that I'm aware that's ever happened. There's never been a car there when the gate shut. So what we need to, the Board of Trustees sets the policy for the librarian to manage the library. We're going to tighten that policy up tonight, so there's no ambiguity. And so
Who
this
shuts the gate?
I'm sorry, I have to ask that.
The staff,
The staff does that?
and then the staff, the maintenance staff opens the doors.
And staff opens it. So did everybody hear that?
No, we could
The
not.
staff, at the end of the evening, 8 o'clock at night, shuts and locks the gate. That's what happened, that's what we've done up until today, actually, yeah, up until today. And then the maintenance staff, the first thing in the morning, what time is that? Is that 7 o'clock, unlocks and opens the gate.
Okay, is it normally locked in the evening when the library closes, or is it normally dummy locked like it was?
In the winter, we dummy lock it because of the ice and the snow and the cold weather. It freezes up and then nobody can get in.
But, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, whenever you're done, I have.
To me, whether it's locked or it's unlocked is irrelevant. A lady went to get in her car, and she couldn't go home. And that's a failure anyway. If we're locked or unlocked, that's a failure. We can't have that. So, yes. you-
So, does the staff ever check to see if it's somebody at the Presbyterian church so they could get their car out if it was locked? Is that not their job then?
Well, that I'm aware of, this has not happened, at least in the year and a half that I've been on. I would say, and I'm gonna speculate, but I would say if there was an abundance of cars, the church is the most likely place you'd go to say,
Are these cars yours?
are these cars yours? Or
Right.
we need to secure the lot. With one car,
It could have gone anywhere.
yeah, it could be from anywhere.
Yeah, but,
It
Yeah.
wasn't.
yeah.
And it's not always highly visible from the street at the church. Because a lot of meetings happen at fellowship halls, and then you would have to go around the neighborhood. In this case, I believe there were 2 meetings at the church, one in one section and one that you might have seen a light in the front. But generally, the sanctuary part of the church is dark. And so a library employee,
And the employee did check. And
So-
there were no lights in the
so
front.
as a member of the church, I'm familiar with our process of, how the building is used, so, it was an unfortunate incident, and,
Is there, anyone that is at the church that would have a number to call anybody here they don't have a number for you or?
well, they could call me, but I wouldn't have had, I don't have a key.
Why do we have the gate?
What was your question?
Why do you lock it?
Why is there a gate? Because to be honest, we come here. First of all, I want to say my daughter and I love the library. They're always very, very nice to us. We come here a lot, and I appreciate. I want to be a part of with the solutions of the library. But I am confused as the gate. I did come here one night. I think the church was having a function, and the library lot was full. That is very uninviting, and I don't know, it's very hard in the dark to even find an entrance, so I was surprised people even knew how to get in there that time of night because you can't see the entrance. The lighting is an issue, and we had to park in an alley with 25 books and walk all the way, and it was really cold. It was a December day. So I just want to know why we even have the gate, because people have made comments. It doesn't seem very inviting to walk past and there's a gate. And that's just as much as I love the library, and that is my only concern, is that I think we should be inviting. And I love the library so much and want to promote literacy. I would love that to be a county-wide library, have more funds coming into our library and have more, but it really does kind of hurt when there is that gate.
Well, trust us, we would love to be a countywide library as well.
And that's why I'm here, because I want to be a support to the library, whatever I can do to try to promote being a countywide library, because you read those figures, and it's not a lot of money for books. And I wonder how many books go unpaid and unreturned. So there have been a lot of comments. I don't think the library has really shared their perspective. I'm here to know more about the problem. But I am concerned. I do share the concern about the gate and the lighting, because it's not welcoming to even people who come and use the library. I don't use that gate at all. I mean, the parking lot.
To your question about why do we have the gate, I'm going to need help. I haven't been on the board long enough to give that answer, but my colleagues have. So is there someone who can help with that?
It was an issue of liability. Yes.
Yeah, but when a lot of years was done, and they didn't have one for a lot of years, and they left it, that they did it after the neighbor passed away, and it was free. The neighbor lived next door, and she knew that when she passed, that they was gonna do something. She said that. And it was empty until she died, and as soon as she died, they put a fence up. And it went all those years, and it was fine.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yes, but have we answered?
No, I don't know. I mean,
If you are referring to Mrs. Caldwell.
Yes, I am. And the thing is, it went a lot of the years without a fence, and that's why after she passed, a fence was put up. And she visited the library all the time.
Yes, she did, and she was a very good friend of mine. Two separate entities, though. Her property and the library property have absolutely nothing to do with each
Well,
other.
it's amazing how it went up right after she passed. It did go up before that. And it sat empty for a long time, no fence around it. So,
And again, separate entities. Yeah.
But why is it a liability? I'm sure you carry liability insurance for that lot.
Also
For
has
that
to do,
reason.
in my opinion, with vandals.
Mhm.
We had when we spent the money to have the surface repaved, it was vandalized in the first couple of days.
the surface of the lot.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, some kids were setting off fireworks on it, unfortunately.
So let me add one.
Well, that's a good question. That answers.
So I guess let me add one other comment for what I do know with my short time on board. The Friends of the Library have a building in the back that they operate out of. It helps secure that building. I don't think we've had any incidents that I'm aware of yet. That gate is a hot topic tonight. When we get to the portion of the parking lot at the bottom, we're going to ask for a vote to make some changes. Kind of bear with us on that. It's not forgotten. We're not going to move on by and forget about it. And yes, sir.
I just have a question. There's probably 30 government lots within a couple mile radius, and I don't know any others that have a fence. And that's not a question, it's a statement, I guess.
He said there was vandalism, though. There was vandalism on there.
With fireworks.
So.
Who's going to pay to continually fix this?
No, the government lots feel it's necessary.
Our library
to fence
doesn't get much
themselves in.
money.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Well, I'm saying, I guess my point is that this is the only entity that felt it necessary. I mean, I'm sure there's kids walking around everywhere with fireworks. It happens.
Because our library is on a limited budget.
So are all the other governmental agencies. So is the sheriff's department, so is the police department, so is the place right across the street that doesn't have a fence, the health department. All those places don't have fenced-in lots. It's just, I agree with what she said, it's so unwelcoming. It just is. It just gives off a bad taste when you go by a lot that's locked and fenced in. Thank you.
We hear.
Absolutely. Would you, yes, ma'am?
Yes, I feel like I just want to jump in and make a quick statement and to get that out of the way. I want to revisit a week ago Tuesday night because I was the one that was able to help the young mother. We had a meeting and I run my meetings very efficiently and we were out at 8 o'clock. I sent my cell phone, it was 8 o'clock, you were there. And I said, ladies, it is now time for us to leave, it is 8 o'clock. If you want to stay around and talk, you're welcome to do so, and I will wait with you, but I want to adjourn the meeting, and we did. Luckily, a few of us stayed around and talked. So let's say 8:02, 8:03, she's over in that parking lot, and she's back. And she says, I can't get into my car. We have a young mother that is wanting to be involved in the Be Nice, Be Kind campaign, which involves our youth of Clay County, to better our community. And she cannot get into her car. And so I immediately said, oh my goodness, you didn't park in the library parking lot. She goes, yes, I did. And I said, oh no. I said, you get in the car with me. You can have my van if you want it. I didn't know. I said, if you get towed, I will pay your tow. We went to pick up her husband at the Y. At that point in time, we called Dennis Archer. And the police officer?
The police officer, okay.
Yes. And we contacted him. Dennis said that there was no emergency number available for a situation like this to occur. She sent a text to your director on Facebook personal message and never received any response. Now, on Thursday, I received a phone call from a concerned citizen that said that one of the library members had been to the mayor's office and reported that they had not locked that until 8:20. And I responded by contacting the mayor's office and reporting that on my cell phone, the time that I called Dennis Archer showed a whole lot different, and we were at the YMCA by the time we made that call. So I wanted to spread that out, and Mr. Taylor, is that correct?
Yeah,
Mike, I'm very anxious to hear what you have to say, but I have to say what we need. We need 3 signs. We need them lighted so people can see them between the hours of 5:30 and 8. That's what we need so that this never happens again. That's going to satisfy the need for that's a dangerous situation. We cannot have that occur anymore.
I absolutely agree with you.
And that's all I have to say.
And before we go on, can I comment on that?
Yes.
In my opinion, 8:02, 8:20, a lady couldn't get to her car.
Exactly.
That is not acceptable, no matter what time it was.
Exactly.
Your solution's a good solution. I want to propose a better one.
That even sounds better.
We'll get there.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, is there any more questions? Or comments? Yes, ma'am.
Well, I paid attention and started asking questions because of what happened to the mother. My questions were, how does that happen? You say you're going to address it. Like a lot of people, I didn't understand why there was a gate. And I wondered how a parking lot, so I looked in the paper, I saw vandalism, and I wondered how you vandalize a parking lot. You have answered that. So I tried to find out who was on the board, and I found out I couldn't. I found 2 appointments, Mr. Hagemeyer's and yours, in the paper, and I couldn't find out who the rest of the board was. Bits and pieces identified 4 of you. I was on your website, which I don't know if you know, it's been down for the last couple of days. So I got on the state website and I started looking up information to find out who appoints the board, just trying to understand things better. And I'm kind of a numbers person, so I went on the state website and I looked up all the libraries and comparable libraries. So I want to explain it started with the gate, and I'm going way past the gate.
You're fine. You're fine.
All right. I guess the first question I wondered was how was the gate and the fence paid for, and what funds it came from?
Rainy day funds.
Rainy day fund. Okay, thank you. So as Facebook went wild, a lot of other issues came up from a lot of people, and you say you want to be more public friendly, and I think you do need to do that. I think there are some issues. Facebook is no scientific survey, but I did copy and paste all the comments. A couple things that stuck out to me was that teachers cannot get books now for their students, and they used to be able to for the classroom. That's no longer.
No. If they get a library card, they can get those books for their students. Yes, they have to have a library card to do that.
To check them out for their classroom.
Yes.
Okay. And if a teacher lives in Brazil, so she can get a library card and check out for the classroom. If she teaches in the city of Brazil, though, she has to pay.
One of two ways that you get a library card. If you live in Brazil City or Brazil Township, your library membership fee is paid for on your property tax.
Mm-hmm.
If you live in any other township in Clay County, then you pay that fee directly to the library. There are no free library cards
For teachers in the city of Brazil. So they have to be a resident of Brazil.
No, they can be a non-resident and live in any other township other than Brazil Township. But that fee where Brazil Township residents have it on their property tax, then the non-residents pay their fee directly to the library.
Right.
We don't set those rules, the state does.
Okay.
That's a state mandate. We don't, as far as what that, we don't set that in the state.
I guess my question was, there's no exception for teachers who teach in the city of Brazil and live otherwise in the county.
Not anymore.
But that's where we, the community, can really advocate for a county-wide library or have a fundraiser.
Yeah.
Or we could have a fundraiser for people living outside of the county that can't afford it, or for teachers. I'm here, I feel like we really need to support our library and advocate for that because everybody would benefit.
I agree. And it was pointed out that a lot of conversation was happening that you weren't aware of. So I printed out all the comments, take it for what it's worth, and I'm going to leave them with you. You can read them. There were, I didn't copy all of them, but people that felt that they had a legitimate problem or issue with the library to share with all of you. When I was reading through it, I wondered if you have any committee or policy or way for people to communicate with the library with their concerns. Obviously, as with me, I didn't know who's on the board and I couldn't find it.
It would be so great if you could publish something in the newspaper or make it very public on your website so people can contact you directly, so it doesn't have to get on Facebook. Because my concern with all the comments on Facebook was that it's promoting a hatred for the library.
I didn't see that.
Mr. Taylor, I'm the editor of the Brazil Times. Each year we print a directory, and I can't say for certain, I'm fairly sure that we print a list of the library board members in that directory. If not, I promise we will in the future.
Thank you, yes. I think we can do a better job maybe on our website if that's not clear.
There's not an issue with, I have no issue with people knowing that I agreed to serve on the library board because I wanted to see improvements. I thought there's nothing is ever perfect and there's always room for improvement. as a individual member, I was glad to see some of these comments, because I think we need to take those, review them, and then see how they work with our policies and procedures, and then make sure that our policies and procedures are meeting the needs of not only state law, but the community. And I think, Mike, who has indicated, already, that we're going to talk about the lot, and I've spoken to him before this meeting about my desire to look at that. That I think that's, one of our things that we'll do. You can't change all your policies overnight. You really need to have discussion, and it may mean that we have to have community input, and community input is very important. So I do believe there's a sign-up sheet back in the back. I hope you all sign it, because I would like to be able to call on people who are here tonight. I've been coming to meetings 13 months, 14 months. We've never had people show up. And I know that people have been happy at times.
Have you publicized it? I didn't even know you all met.
Yeah, our meeting is held the same night every month at 6 o'clock, and they're always open to the public.
The third Wednesday of every month.
Some of those comments that were on there were people who were very upset about that $65 fee. So if that could be explained a little bit to the public, why I feel like I really tried to promote that, but I feel like if people really understood how the library worked, maybe some of those would be changed a little bit.
I would
guess something in the newspaper.
I would add a comment. To me, this is common sense, but if you've got a concern or an issue during the day, during normal business hours, I'm confident Joe, the librarian, can answer your question. And I'd even go so far as to say, if you're not happy with that, I'm not saying that they're not going to be unhappy with your comment, but if you're not, the board's approachable. Every third Wednesday of every month, come to the meeting. We're here to serve Brazil. And to Mike's point, I don't ever remember other than 2 of those homeless students in the last 13 or 14.
They had a project.
They had a project. But anybody, you're welcome. It's your library.
Mike, people do not feel that way. That's the problem.
Well,
if we can start and turn that around, that will be a victory, because people do not feel like it is a friendly place to go, and they have not been welcomed here. And as many comments as you're going to get tonight on these papers from the Facebook, I've had personal messages from that many citizens that are astounding with information. A bequeathment of $10,000 and the way that they were treated when they gave the money. And I'm telling you, that starts there. People that are coming in, working their business, and they come in and they want to use a stapler in front of the front desk to staple papers, and they will not let them use them because that's their property. Children that are getting kicked out, basically, because they're inappropriate behaviors. These are the things that is not making it a friendly library, and these are the things that we have got to change, if that's what you want. Yeah. And I think it is.
It is.
And I want to see it happen too.
And I'm trying to say the right thing too, but you've got to understand at times the position that the librarian is in. It's a very difficult position at times. For instance, I'm making this up. It's more right than wrong. You've got kids and I read some of those same things too, that are being loud and they're not asked to be quiet. And so when you do ask those kids or their parents to be quiet, you're the bad person. If you don't, the people that are being interfered with, that can't read or they can't do what they're at the library for, it's a no-win situation. So some of this we got to kind of take with a grain of salt. I think you're right. We can do a better job of communicating. And I'm not making excuses.
But there are needs for rules, because there was an incident where there was a family, sort of a team meeting, that they used the library to for a family services type of thing. No one was paying attention to some of the smaller children, and they urinated on the carpet. Now, that's not good for anybody. It wasn't good for the small child. It wasn't. That's an isolated instance. So you can't paint every child with that paintbrush. And children are noisy by nature. But I think we can work out so many of these issues if we just have honest dialogue. And people come to us and say, and maybe we need a place on our website where people can post a comment or a criticism.
There's email addresses right on the front page of the website that goes to different people.
Okay.
The only one I saw when I looked, Jill, with yours, that's the only one I saw with your email on there when it says contact, it's your contact.
And I got no emails from anyone.
So,
yeah.
I thought you said there were different people they could contact.
There is. There's genealogy on there.
Oh,
there's
yeah, I saw
myself.
that, okay.
And so right in that section.
and maybe we can put one up that says board, if you would like.
Right.
And with the school board, nobody wants to give out their phone numbers and wants people calling. They have emails set up. They had emails set up for the members of the board that you can receive communication that way. It might be something to consider. In addition to getting your name out there.
I don't want a whole lot of phone calls at my home. I know the rest of you know. But I ran the Brazil Housing Authority for 25 years. And my phone number and name were in the phone book every year. So people could. I am open. I just don't be surprised I don't answer the phone because everything goes to the answering machine. But I don't think there's one person on this board that wouldn't want to hear a real concern.
Absolutely.
And that was part of it too, identifying the board. I found it very difficult.
And
I still don't know who the city nominated. I found appointed.
Well, I'm school board.
Yes, and
I'm school board. Who appointed you?
I'm school board too, I think.
I'm school board.
There should be 3 school boards.
There's 3 school boards.
Brazil trustee.
Somebody's county council.
Linda is
county council.
Linda is county council.
And somebody's city council.
That would be Betty.
Yeah, city council.
Both the Mikes and Donna are school board.
Right.
Yeah, and Zach is Playground Commissioner.
And are they 4-year terms? Is that correct? Yes. And you can only serve 4 consecutive. Is that correct? You're going to do that, right? 4 consecutive terms, right?
No, I hope not. I don't like public service, but
one thing that I do want to bring up too, because a lot of the children in town, for some of them, coming to the library is a big deal. I've heard, and it's a good experience for families together, especially those who struggle. I heard from 5 families who cannot come now because their children are allergic, and I wanted to pass that on. And it upset me a great deal for the fact that I know for these families coming to the library is a big deal, and now they can't come.
That is a concern to me too, because that is a little bit of a discrimination. I know that people love cats and they want to do it, but really people should have access to the library even if they have allergies. I would like to see that change too. As much as my daughter loves the cat and she's allergic, I think it's something that really should be considered.
We have had that discussion and a course of action will be taken.
I would like to. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, when you're done.
I would like to maybe, if there's a committee, if you have subcommittees of volunteering, maybe if you do need people helping supervise when people are in here to help monitor, to include kind of a community effort, or if you have story hour. I just feel like as a community who's very concerned, like if you need us to be involved and proactive and help, I would love to see that. Libraries started out with very concerned citizens who had a passion for literacy. So maybe we could just be very creative on how we can involve the community and how we can support the library that way.
That's also.
Right, and I think as we look at things that we want to do, programs, et cetera, that we can start asking for people in the community to help us.
The more people that get involved.
And the more ideas we have
Mm-hmm.
to improve.
Like if there's any authors in Brazil that would like to do read alouds or stories, invite policemen over, firemen, there's a lot of people who love this. Seems they're very involved, and let's get them involved.
Could you elaborate more on the process and the length of time between the one incident of vandalism and the time that you put up or decided the only way to prevent vandalism would be putting up a fence?
I'll have to ask help with that.
That was. Well, I think when we did the building project, putting a fence around, the lot over there was in those plans, but we didn't have the extra funds at that time to do it. One, because of the liability, and two, because of the bookshop being over there. That's why it was in the plans to add the fence.
And Julie,
Time frame. Gosh.
So it wasn't really because of vandalism?
What?
It wasn't because of vandalism?
Well, it went up because of it, yes.
But you said it was already planned.
It was in the plans when we did the renovation, but we didn't have the funds at that time. Then when the vandalism happened.
You had funds?
We did, yes.
Okay.
Policy. I know a library has to have policies. You have to. And this happened to a friend of mine, so I'm going to bring it up. Sometimes you need to look at ways to make exceptions to policy, perhaps to be kind and to help families. I have a friend who her mother had a stroke, and part of her rehabilitation was learning to read again. She had a county library card that she had paid for. She went online and she picked out her books, which you can do, which is great. And her daughter came to pick them up, and she was not allowed to pick them up because her mother wasn't with her. Well, her mother couldn't get here. And I understand it's a rule, but somehow you might look at issues like that and try to find a way to make exceptions, whether it's a doctor slip or...
We do. We have forms that the cardholder can fill out and designate somebody else.
She wasn't capable of that at that point.
I don't know if anybody ever made that. I mean, I don't know if they said. I mean, obviously I wasn't there. I don't know if they came in and said the mother's had a stroke.
No, she had ordered them up.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the situation was.
But situations like that, yeah.
But we do have forms, so Johnny can pick up books for mother, or Jane.
Has it always been that way, or?
What?
Has it always been that way? Okay.
To be very honest, we would have to do something like that under a handicap accessibility and reasonable accommodation. So, but you need to make, if it doesn't work out, then somebody needs to let somebody else know so that we can make sure that we're meeting.
And because I like to understand things, and I would like to understand this, I would also like to request copies or access to the minutes, maybe for the last 3 years, so that I can read and understand what's transpired. And then the last thing I'm going to bring up, and this is nothing against you personal, as I went through the financials, I found them on the state website, and I noticed that the salaries and benefits were 80.1% in 2016 of your budget, which seemed rather high to me. So when I went through and I looked at salaries for libraries that serve 8,000 people, and the average salary seemed to fall, I have a copy of it, or you can look it up, between $35,000 to $43,000. And the salary for this library position was $70,000. And that seemed out of line to me.
I was told the director was here for 20 years, so if there's years of experience that would...
I was just comparing, like,
wouldn't the years of experience add up?
Absolutely.
And you sent me the link. I went on that link too, and that's when I found out how enormous everybody else's library receives in funding compared to ours. And then when Daryl Andrews said that when he was commissioner, 88 out of the 92 counties were county-wide libraries. So our city really is behind the times in voting in a county-wide library. And so I feel like the income is proportionate to what our county brings in for the library. Therefore, they would spend more money on the salaries, and that salaries should be reflected of years of service.
What is your patronage daily? How many people do you comes into the library on a daily basis?
We haven't done a count yet for this year. We usually do that in May. But last year, on a weekly basis, it was about 600.
600, you got that down, the names and so forth, so that we can take a look at that.
600 a day?
No, we don't take names.
A day?
A day?
Oh, a week.
Yeah. You're saying that you service 600 a week is what I'm saying. Interesting.
Terry,
Now, is that
did you get an answer?
foot traffic, or is that phone and emails and?
Foot traffic.
How do you record that?
With a counter. Somebody sits at the door with a counter for the week.
Is that a mandate? Like a point in time kind of thing?
Do they count if they're not able to stay? Or do you count them if they're not able to stay?
If they come through the
Just the
door.
threshold.
If they come through the door. Okay.
It's just like a counter on the door. If you had a counter, it would count everybody who came in, whether they walked in and turned right around, went out, or if they stayed all day.
It's not very busy when I come here. I would love to see more people in the library. And I think if you had some committees of volunteers, hospitals have volunteers, nursing homes have volunteers, why not the library? Why not? I mean, it would be nice to have different activities and have people who could help check. You know, there are libraries and there are helpers in the schools that put in books. Can't volunteers help put the books out? I mean, I feel like, I don't know. I want to be here to be supportive of the library.
Can you all speak to what Terry was pushing towards? I just wanted to get an answer on that. It did seem out of line from the numbers she's throwing out there. Can you verify any of that or comment on size for 80% towards just salaries? And it seems an awful enormous for a size of us. Can you have any comment towards that?
What were the budgets of the other libraries?
Pardon?
The budgets of the other libraries?
Vigo's like almost 10 million, 10 million.
So their percentage would be way low.
No, I compared the salary to the number of patrons in the community. 8,000, I did 8,000 to 9,000 served. And so it is an anomaly in it. I just questioned why we not saying anything about her person. I didn't understand how a library of this size could afford that salary. Quite frankly, it didn't look like one was.
And then it was commented that someone threw it out there comparing it to teacher salaries. But
No, I compared librarians with.
No, but another person did. But I just don't think we should go there.
It was my question.
People deserve a livable wage.
Sabrina, can we let them talk? Because every time a question's brought to them, and I'm not trying to be rude, I'm really not, but you speak up and answer for them. And it's been about 50% of the questions. And I'd really like to hear from them.
Because I want them to know that the community's.
You're a member of the community, and we understand that you love and support the library, and that's a great thing. But I want to hear what they have to say, because they're the ones who are in charge of the library. So please, let them answer the questions that these people have asked them. They're not asking me.
So who sets the salary for the library?
That would be the board.
You guys do that?
And I have not seen any comparables, again, like I said.
The state has a great database for public libraries.
And
a report writer.
We can pull that information. But
Absolutely.
it's, could be, you know, number of years, I don't know, I just don't know. You know, I know that if you look at salaries.
Education level, I mean, there's a whole lot of factors.
Yes, amen.
Can we get a follow-up next month? Can we get a follow-up for next month?
What type of follow-up?
Give you the month?
We'll follow up on.
To her question.
To her question. Just
Well,
give you the month to look into it, and if we come back for next month's meeting, which is the third Wednesday,
Yep.
we can come back.
So just to be clear, what exactly is the question that you're asking?
They want to know why she's making so much.
No, that's not my question. My question was the salary. When I looked at the budget, when I looked at other libraries this size, serving the same number of people, the salary was quite a bit higher. And I guess my question was, how can you afford it?
Were you looking just at the salary or salary and benefits?
This was
together?
salary.
And not benefits?
No,
like
not
insurance?
benefits.
Yeah, but insurance, that would be the biggest, that's why I asked that.
Yes.
I was, so how many people are included?
There's
How many employees?
No, this was the director's salary.
Oh, just the director.
They actually have it. They have, it's great. They have it.
You did some kind of formula thing.
Pardon?
I thought you said you did some kind of per capita thing, that you divided the population by the salary.
No, it's a report on the state website for libraries that shows the number of people served and the salaries.
Yeah.
For every director in the state of Indiana.
Okay.
It was updated in 2017, but the last available is 2016. It shows the number of employees, it shows the hours worked, it shows the benefits. So I didn't do any interpreting, it print out the report.
I would prefer to look at the director as what can we do to improve the quality of the library and the quality of the work. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with the wage, but you know, more people should be coming to our library.
My question was how can they afford it? That's my question when other counties can't, when funds are limited, if that makes sense.
Okay. So now that we understand the question, okay, let us look into it. We'll talk a little more about it next month. We need to do a little work. I don't quite understand it. We need to do a little research.
And per the request, there will be a follow-up
Next meeting.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
No, I'm done.
My name is Noah Coley. I appreciate the leading the meeting with addressing the situation. That's what probably the tipping point for most everybody to come. I just want to thank you for addressing it up front. You did it with tact, and we can tell you're sincere. And I feel that from the board, like just sitting here, I've been a little bitter from a distance for a while. I was somebody who would work with young people through an organization, come in, and we were kind of out, and first-hand experience that happened. The friendliness wasn't here with the staff, but I'm getting it from the board, and if it wasn't with the board, it is now. And so, little in-house looking and training and customer service, just to make sure that everybody wears a smile. And if they would listen to us the way I feel like we've been listened to tonight, I think you're in for really good results. So I just want to thank you for your opening comments, sir, and at least feeling listened to.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, thank you. But believe it or not, we're not up here, we don't get paid. We left the library. And you grew up in the library. The librarians called me a rat, library rat. I could have skipped all of our probably young person now when I visited the library. It's the only where I wanted to do my birth. That's why I'm here. And to read and hear some of those comments that were out there just for us. So what that tells me is we need to do a little looking inside. You do a little soul searching. You do a little bit of improvement in our community relations. Give us a chance to do that. I had no idea. I was floored. I had slept well since this thing. The lady that got locked in that parking lot, that's terrible. I know her. I know her husband. I know his mother. And I've only lived here 6 years. Unbelievable. It's not going to happen. Is there any other questions?
I would like to wait and say one more thing just so that there's no misunderstanding. When we first moved here, my daughter and I didn't know anyone. And my husband traveled all the time. And I'm a reader. And the library was my daughter and my happy place. We probably checked out the limits on books for weeks. So I don't want anyone to think I don't support the library. I think the library is vital. We lived out of town and we paid our fee to be a part of the library and enjoyed many of the services. And it was a wonderful experience until it wasn't. And now I'm not. So I don't want to say that I'm totally objective because I'm not. I have that fond memories and then I'm not so ones. So I guess I'm speaking for myself that I didn't feel that I had a voice when I came in here, and I didn't feel at the end that it was always friendly. And that's what I pray that you change, because I want another young mother that moves here with a daughter to come in and find her a happy place too. And if we can't get a county library, which I totally wish we could, idea's been brought up. I mean, there are people that would raise funds to purchase for children and mothers that couldn't afford it. So it's not to say that I think it's broken and can't be fixed, or that it's even broken. I guess I'm just trying to convey my thoughts and some of the other people's. And I do want to read the minutes because I do want to understand what happened. Because my first thought, as many of us, when I saw it, how did this happen? How did it get to this point? So, and maybe that would answer some of my financial questions.
Maybe we could have a cookies and canvas here to have a fundraiser for the people that can't afford the fees. I don't know how that would be managed or something like that, but these women are very powerful on Facebook. I mean, I'm not very popular.
Yeah, I would like to address that a little bit. I do know that some of the other counties that are not countywide, sometimes their county trustees will pay their library card fee for them. I don't know that our trustees in the other townships were, but that's how other counties have handled that in the past.
But is there a possibility to have a fund, and could that be managed through the library in some sort of system?
You would have to set up a program, an application for hardship card, etc.
Yeah.
Everything's possible.
Okay,
Go to your county
I just want to
commissioners.
say that the little boy I take care of during the week, we love coming to the library during the summer. He absolutely loves it. And I think it's really helped him between going to Launch Academy and coming to the library. It's really helped him. But we can't get a library card without paying. And how do we get the ball rolling to get this to be a county library? Because I think I'm personally in a good position.
Yay!
I think I'm in a good position to talk to people to start that moving. If
that makes me happy.
Talk to the commissioners.
Which I mean, I think I can get that started. I don't know what the procedure is, what the process is to start that.
We can help with that. Absolutely.
Okay,
If we can have a meeting on that.
Does it start from the community, or does it start from the commissioners, the board, county?
It would start from the community to take to the commissioners, I believe. It's sort of the same thing, you know.
It's not our decision because we would like to do it. It's not this board's decision not to make it happen. Because the majority of this board would like to have a county library.
So then it falls to the commissioners. I didn't hear.
Yeah. First, it starts with the community wanting to do this activity. The community goes to the commissioners, and then the commissioners get it moving to become a countywide library.
And that process is something they do internally, or does that have to go to the whole county? Or is it a choice?
That's their choice.
That's up to them.
It's a choice for them.
But
Okay.
I think, Jill, weren't you saying that you have information about the past efforts?
Yes.
So Jill will share the past information of what happened and what went wrong or what didn't happen.
Yes.
Because I'm new, but I know that at one point in the past, there was an effort made by groups to try to make this a county library. It failed because of, well, we can't afford those taxes.
It went on the ballot. I have heard that it didn't necessarily need to go on it, that the commissioners could do that. And that's what I guess I'm trying to find out. No,
I just don't know. The rules have changed.
It doesn't have to go on the ballot. Okay.
I think before we commit ourselves to anything, let's check out what the rules are,
Thank
and
you.
then we will figure out how to go
Yeah.
forward. Thank you. Sir?
I'm satisfied. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? We do always welcome his meetings third Wednesday of every month at 6 o'clock. I think it's a little different in December. Is that correct?
No, it's the same, just our year-end meeting
Just
at 1:30, the last day of the
Okay.
year, yeah, just the year-end
But
meeting.
third Wednesday of every month at 6 o'clock, right? Can I move on to the question?
Yeah. Could we have those printouts and shoot? I would, I only have some.
You can have all the printouts and you can also have all the reports I ran off the state website, but I only have one copy of them.
That's fine. I know where there's a copy.
And since the regular meeting is now underway, I'd like to make a motion to temporarily suspend the rules and move to new business, item V, library parking lot, item A. Is there a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, Mr. President, new business.
I'd like to put a motion in front of the board, and I'd like everybody to vote on this. Open that gate and never shut it again. I'd like these folks to see from all of us. What's your vote?
What's your motion?
Motion and second.
Motion and second. Is everybody in agreement? Open this gate and never close it again.
Who's second?
Who
made it?
Mike. Can't go to the president.
The president made it.
Is it all in favor?
You got my vote.
Aye.
Yes, aye.
The gate's not ever going to be shut again.
So that's community parking.
No, it's not. It's library parking.
There are some liability issues still. The gate's not going to be locked.
Can I make a comment on that?
Sure.
Now, I don't know what's fact, but I was told by a businessman, because somebody asked me about that, why I was there in the first place, and I said, well, I've only been on the board over a year too. I said, I was told it was because of liability problems. And this person said that they had a business that had parking, and he said that's simply not true. That if the business has a parking area and it is maintained, then if somebody should get hurt on that property, they are not liable.
Doesn't mean you can't get sued.
That's
You
right.
can sue because you're short, that's right. Throw in the wind.
And so I wasn't going to say that, but it might as well be said. People will sue for anything.
Yeah, they would.
And so we've got, what we do owe the library, our best setting the policies, protect the library.
But how does that protect the library? To me, that fence, to me, the library is a soft, cozy heartbeat of a community. And to me, that fence does more damage, publicity-wise or PR-wise, than any value they could possibly gain from trying to prevent a liability.
Well, can I just say one thing? I never really cared for the fence, but I don't want to see, at this point, I don't want to see it gone. I want the gate open. I want people to feel like they can get in and out. Actually, if I were parking in there, it actually acts as an area. You feel like your car's not going to get hit. Well, it's going to get hit with somebody running. I mean, we just found that out. The building was hit.
But can anybody, if the gate's open, then can anybody park in there, period?
We'll have to confer with the attorney.
Yeah, let us look.
I don't see that that's going to be a real issue. I really don't. I don't think that we're going to see a rush of strangers parking in the parking lot. I really don't. Between our paid parking lot and the city lot, which is beside us, I think we've got everybody covered. And if somebody does come in who's out of town and says, oh, I need to do this and parks here, then in our lot, then we should make them feel welcome because they're not taking up 150 spaces, they're taking up one lot. I think the gate is the main focus, and just understanding that, yes, somebody may park there. And during the library time, that I hope the community understands that it is the library's primary parking lot. So.
Can I ask that was my question about the liability issue when I started thinking about it, that other places don't have a gate. So, or a fence. So my question was a liability issue, and were you advised to do that by an attorney because of liability, or was it an insurance company who came in and recommended? I think that would help people too if they know where this recommendation came from and why.
That's before my time, I have to say, I apologize.
Yes, it did come from.
So the library attorney recommended, you put up, the library attorney recommended the gate and the fence.
Yeah, well, I mean, the library board decided that was something they wanted to do, but the attorney said that, yes, liability, that would solve the liability issues.
So it was the attorney's recommendation that started all this?
Yes.
Okay, and is it the library's attorney?
It's the library
and
attorney.
who is that?
Stephen Bushman.
Stephen Bushman, okay, thank you. And that helped a lot too, because I thought I don't see other businesses doing this, that's why I didn't get it.
Mine's not a question. Every year, I'm an instructor at a preschool, and I do not attend the church next door. This has nothing really to do with that, but that's where we have our Christmas programs. And we have an awesome Christmas program. I'm telling you, 400 people come to our Christmas program. And they park wherever. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it make, because I live in the county, I can't even really do anything here unless I pay that $65, and I'm not going to do that. But wouldn't it be nice if these parents pulled up to see their children, their little children, in the Christmas program and say, oh, you know what, the library will let us park there. Let's just pull in there and park there. They're not going to tear up their parking lot, or they just want to see their kids sing Jingle Bells. You know, and I mean, I just think that instead of having that great big empty lot and like, oh, we can't park there. I mean, I just don't get it. I don't understand it. I just think it sounds horrible.
I wish people would share.
I'm hoping that this vote that we just took will take care of it.
And what preschool are you from? I didn't catch that.
I'd rather not say.
Okay.
Okay.
I did see an article in the paper by Frank where Joe Trout stood out there one time for preschool and to tell.
He said that at a city council meeting. Yeah.
When my son went to Annunciation, which Joe Trout's grandson was in my son's class, Joe stood out in that parking lot almost the whole entire time that our kids stood in there and sang and didn't get to watch his grandson perform, so that nobody parked in that lot and no one got towed.
Who did that?
Joe Trout,
He's a judge.
He's a judge.
He's a judge in our county.
He's the
That
judge.
was before
So no one would park in that lot and get towed.
He didn't want anyone's car to get towed, so he didn't get
Or
into
locked
the
in there.
program.
They were told it to be towed. So
We
that's
had
what we
board
want to
meeting
prevent.
that night. Those of us that were all in here, we had board meetings.
I just.
Because you're saying
It
that the
was
gate
before
will
my
have to
time,
be
but I do know.
Google it on the Times. The
Yeah,
stories in there.
I know.
So if the
maybe
gate's
this-
not
I'm
gonna be
hoping that
locked,
this
there's
takes
still
care
gonna be a
of
time
it.
that we
That solves the
tow.
problem.
Hey, folks, what
We have more legal.
Well, they address that clearly. So if they're gonna have the gate open, it's open from here on out, never
gate will
locked,
not
ever,
be
ever,
closed
ever,
again.
ever again.
The
Is
gate
there
will
gonna
not-
be a certain time where you say it's 8 o'clock, there's a car in the lot, we're not gonna lock it in there, but we're gonna tow it?
No.
I don't think there's ever been a car
No,
towed.
we've never had anything.
In my
towed.
tenure,
And that's not
there
as-
has never been a car.
And that's
towed.
not as easy as us, even if the library staff wanted to, there are issues with towing. Trust me. I ran the public housing authority with multiple parking lots where people parked illegally, and we could not, even though we had stickered parking for the residents. There were times when I would have loved to have had a car just towed, but there are steps. And so the car should be able, unless it's something that's been abandoned, And then the police are gonna be called.
Right.
There, you don't have to worry about that.
And we have had that. We have
Yeah.
abandoned cars.
Yeah.
So it is gonna be public parking for everyone?
I don't wanna call it public, I wanna call it the library.
Well, the library parking lot, and anybody can park there.
We just don't want it blocked anymore.
In case the library parking lot, and anybody can park there.
Patrons of the library.
Yeah, no, anybody, anybody.
Like I said, I think most of the time, it will be library patrons. I'm almost positive.
More than likely. Because everybody's heard, you don't park there, so they don't park there.
Even patrons don't park there. I don't park there.
Well, it's your fault.
Well, I mean, it's because of the fence.
Close the doors.
Okay. Mike, can you go on back to business?
So, we're gonna go, yes, sir.
I do have a question, and I've been trying to do three things here at once. Maybe you already answered it. But will cars be towed? Will there be any other kind of?
No towing.
We're not going to tow cars.
There'll be no sign that says that.
There'll be no sign that says that. That being said, if somebody abandons a car over there, we
Sure.
have to tow it.
Well, sure, right.
So it's not.
Now, Jill, you know why I have to ask. All right, thank you very much.
If there's no other questions, I'd like to adjourn the public portion of our meeting so we can get back to the library business and set policy and take care of the library. But before I do that, thank you for coming. Come back. We can work more closely together. If you talk, if you come here and talk with us, we'll listen. I'm not going to tell you we're always going to agree, but we're going to do our best. This community's worked in this library, and we care about you. And I gotta tell you, those comments in that Facebook hurt, and we heard them. We're gonna fix that. What we do is we have a policy for the library to follow to manage the library. Okay? I think a lot of those comments weren't fair. There may be some truth in it, so we need to look hard at that. But the library's here for the public. And we haven't forgot that. And we do care. I mean that. Okay? Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting.
Yeah.